A jack of all trades is defined as a person who can do many different types of work. This means that rather than specialize in one specific skill, a jack of all trades is competent at many different things. A jack of all trades usually can't measure up to someone else who specializes in a specific skill because they spend a lot of their time trying to be well-rounded. This leads to these individuals not really being able to master any one skill, and sometimes this can be an issue in situations where they lack the necessary skills in an area to perform a certain task. Jack of all trades characters are not uncommon in video games. In most games, these characters don't really excel at any one thing, and because of this, they usually have a hard time finding a niche in the meta. But there's an agent in Valorant that both fits this mold and has found a way to fit into the meta at almost all levels of play. This is Skye in a nutshell. When Skye was first released, she didn't really see that much play for a lot of the reasons mentioned above. She was okay at info gathering, she had a mediocre flash, and a pretty good heal, but it was hard to fit her into a comp when so many other agents could fill roles she could, but better. But during the beginning of episode 3 of the Valorant competitive season, Riot released a brand new patch. And during what some call the Ability Mass Extinction event of 2021, Riot nerfed the abilities of almost every single agent in the game, changing how some of the agents' kits functioned and making abilities more expensive overall. But there was one guiding light to help lead the remaining playable agents out of the ashes, and Skye had finally found her place. Now with almost all the other agents in the game nerfed, Skye's previously underwhelming kit now started to seem much more powerful. And now players started to ask themselves, why would I play an agent that's better than average at one thing when I can just play an agent that's better than average at everything? So what exactly are these abilities that are so strong? Skye's signature ability is her guiding light. This is Skye's flash ability. She starts with one charge and can purchase a second for 250 credits. This ability also recharges a charge every 40 seconds. When Skye flashes an enemy, she also has a voice line giving you information about whether or not an enemy is in the area.
Blinded!
Unfortunately, this doesn't tell you if the enemy was fully blind or just partially. And with the recent changes to how getting partially flashed works, they might as well not be flashed at all. So if you do peek off your flash, you're pretty much just rolling the dice. But hey, at least you knew kind of where the enemy was before they killed you. Assuming you actually know how to use this ability correctly, it has a 2.5 second flash time, which is pretty great. If you do get fully flashed by Skye, you will not make it out alive. Once blinded by this thing, all you'll be able to see is the animation for One For All before she goes plus ultra on you. And that's my anime reference limit of 1 per video, so you can be sure that you won't be hearing another one. No matter what the situation is, Skye will always find a way to flash you. It doesn't matter if the Skye's on the enemy team, one of your teammates, or if you're playing Skye yourself. If there's a Skye in your lobby, you can be sure that you'll be flashed every time she uses the ability. Skye's next ability is her Trailblazer, bind it to Q by default, and costs 250 credits to purchase the one charge. This ability allows Skye to summon a dog that can scout for her and her team. And yes, I know it's actually a Tasmanian tiger, and no, I'm not gonna call it that. It can see a short distance, helping give your team information, and an enemy hit by it will be stunned. This stun duration actually depends on whether or not the dog landed a direct hit, and ranges between 2.5 and 4 seconds, which is something I did not know. I wasn't even sure if I knew the dog could stun enemies, because every time I've seen it used, it just gets destroyed before it even gets that close. And with only 100 HP, it's no wonder why. A direct hit can also damage enemies, dealing 30 damage on direct contact. This is also the most embarrassing way to die in the game, arguably more hilarious than dying from fall damage. I highly recommend uninstalling if this ever does happen to you, as your mental state will be permanently damaged with no chance of recovering. This ability is great for clearing corners, whether you're just scouting for information or in a site execute, and it's honestly one of my favorite abilities of hers. And no matter what the elo is, I find that Skies always tend to clear their corners when dogging out, except when Skye's on my team. So as long as you don't see jitters in your lobby, your Skye dogs are probably fine. Skye's final ability is her Regrowth. It's binded to C by default and costs 200 credits to purchase. This ability is Skye's heal, and unlike most abilities, runs on a meter rather than having a one-time use. This meter only depletes when you're healing a teammate and has a total healing pool of 100 HP, allowing you to fully heal a teammate. This means that you don't have to worry about wasting it because the meter will only deplete when there's a teammate who has taken damage near you. This ability also has a huge area of effect, so you're actually able to heal multiple teammates at once to save time. But in my experience, this almost never happens, and you usually are just healing one teammate at a time anyways, but I'm glad the option's still there. Unfortunately, you can't heal yourself with this ability, so if you take damage, you're out of luck. I would say ask your Sage for healing, but she probably already used it on herself to heal off that 13 chip damage she received from jumping off rafters. Skye's ult is her Seekers, costing 7 ultimate points to be used. Once activated, Skye will let out 3 cabbages to track down the 3 closest enemies. They each have 150 health, and if they do manage to hit an enemy, they'll be nearsighted for 3 seconds and lose the ability to hear sound cues, which depending on your rank may or may not mean anything. The ult is also relatively easy to destroy, but with good follow-up can still be relatively effective even if they don't come in contact with an enemy. The ult is great as it's relatively cheap and can be used in multiple ways to give your team an advantage in a round. Sniffing out where enemies may be hiding, letting your team know if they should rotate, or just as a post-plan tool to find any potential flankers. My only problem with this ult is that the AI for it is sometimes so dumb that it doesn't even make sense. These cabbages will get stuck on parts of the map pretty often, and for some reason, just like most solo queue players, have no idea what to do in the face of a Sage wall. Besides that, I suggest you use this ult pretty much off cooldown, and for the love of god, if you ever see a Sage wall, please just shoot it. Skye's a very powerful agent that has a very well diversified kit. Like any good stock portfolio, she has a little bit of everything from flashes, scouting, and even a heal. She has plenty of easy to use abilities to allow lower level players to be able to take advantage of her, but also provides a high enough skill ceiling for higher ranked players by getting good at using her flashes and knowing how to properly chain her abilities together. And you'll probably get flashed and killed by her so many times that you'll start to wonder, who is this Skye? Hey everyone, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, I'd really appreciate if you left a like. Also, if you have any suggestions for agents you want to see me talk about in this series, please leave a comment letting me know. If you're interested, consider checking me out on stream at twitch.tv/jittersval. I stream every Saturday from 2 to 6 p.m. EST. Also, follow me on Twitter if you'd like. I post updates on there pretty often. And if you also want to join my Discord community, there will also be a link in the description for that as well. And finally, don't forget to subscribe for more Valorant related content.